speaker, I'm very pleased to welcome a man that will be known to many of you. Quite rightly, we've heard one of the other largest chants, which was Justice to Sheku Bayo. Please welcome Anwar, human rights lawyer and the solicitor for the Sheku Bayo family.
Thank you, Tullet. Thank you to Stand Up to Racism and the trade union movement for organising this tremendous demonstration today. Brothers and sisters, in 2015, Europe's leaders screamed about a migrant crisis as 1.4 million refugees fled the war in Syria. We were told we couldn't take them, we didn't have enough room, yet those same countries absorbed 2 million Ukrainians within days, just over a year ago. There was no rubber dinghies, there was free tickets on the Eurostars, and we should ask the question that Gary Lineker, the question that others have asked: what exactly is the difference between a Ukrainian refugee, an Iraqi refugee, an Afghani refugee, a refugee from Africa? There should be no difference. We now know that Europe never had a migrant crisis. It had a racism crisis. And if you really want to root out racism, then dismantle the brutal regime of detention centres, dismantle the brutal regime of deportation, deal with the killer cops who act with immunity, and deal with our politicians who are knee-deep in blood of thousands drowned by Europe's border controls. We need, as a movement, to harness the spirit of Kenmure Street. Those moments when a community came together and said that these are our neighbours, let them go. I will always remember that moment when myself and Mohammed Asif stepped into the Priti Patel's deportation van and the door was open, and I spoke to the two Indian men and I said, you are free because of the power of the people of Glasgow. That power of the people rests in every community, in every town, in every city. We have a society in crisis where politicians glorify obscene wealth, propagating racism and conspiracy theories whilst they claim to stand up for ordinary people. They are nothing more than racist thugs who are patently out for the super rich. People who feel marginalised, never listened to, derided by the media and ignored by our politicians are looking for a chance to hit back. That vacuum will be filled by the far right if we do not fill it as a movement. The stakes are higher than they have ever been. So Gary Lineker is right to call out the language of the Tories. It is over 80 years since the Nazi regime embarked on the mass slaughter. The Nazis called them subhumans, alongside communists, alongside trade unionists, Roma people, disabled people, homosexuals. Over 6 million Jews were slaughtered in the extermination camps, the gas chambers of Auschwitz, of Birkenau, of Sobibor, of Treblinka, and yet once more we see the rise of the far right and fascism across Europe. Muslims, Africans, Arabs, Romas have replaced Jews as a focus of hatred, but the message has not changed. They're scapegoats to blame for your problems. No jobs to be had? Blame the immigrants for taking them all. National security at risk? Blame the Muslims. No houses? Blame the asylum seekers. These are the same dangerous, corrosive ideas which led to the gas chambers. And there's one difference I have with Gary Lineker. It didn't start with the Nazis in 1930s. It started in 1905 with a British Alien Act that targeted immigrants and the Jews to this country. It started with the European countries in the 1920s and the 1930s that blocked hundreds of thousands of Jewish people fleeing the Nazi regime and turning them back to the gas chambers of Auschwitz and Treblinka. We have a hidden history which we should never forget. And today, election campaigns are being fought for the lives of men, women and children. Asylum seekers, immigrants are portrayed as threatening the civilized way of life and treated as the enemy of today. And today I want to close with a message for you from the family of Sheku Bayo, Aggie Johnson, Sheku's sister, Aggie Johnson, his brother-in-law, his nieces are here today. Sheku was a 31-year-old father of two, and he died in police custody on the streets of Ducati on the 3rd of May 2015. He was unarmed, he was CS sprayed, he was battened, and he was brought to the ground in less than 1 minute. Up to 6 police officers restrained him. Not one, as in the case of George Floyd, but 6 officers. He was shackled, he was handcuffed, he was ankle cuffed, and unable to breathe, he lost his life. And Kadi, Sheku's sister, has said, if you march for Black Lives Matter, if you march for George Floyd, then Sheku Bayo's family demand your solidarity. The public inquiry finished off yesterday for a 3-4 week break, and it reached its day 52. And over the last 7 years and 10 months, it has become clear to the family that the police in this country, the so-called independent investigators, and the Crown Office has been operated an unholy trinity of dishonesty, of racism, of incompetence, betraying the word justice. And as Kadi said, when they put her brother's lifeless body in the ambulance, he was still shackled like a slave with over 24 separate injuries, cuts, lacerations, bruises and a broken ribs. And within minutes, the process of criminalising, of smearing, of stereotyping began to enforce the image of a mad, dangerous black man in an attempt to blame Sheku Bayo for his own death. But he was unarmed and he never deserved to die. We are always told that justice is colourblind, but Sheku's family believe his skin colour was treated as a weapon as he was met with overwhelming force. Kadi has described Sheku as Scotland's George Floyd. But if taking the knee and Black Lives Matter, they will mean nothing if Scotland fails to fill up Festival Square at the end of the Sheku Bayo inquiry when it comes. Sadly, Sheku is not by any means the first black man to die in police custody. But Kenmore Street gives us hope that one day our children will have a future where the lives lived by Stephen Lawrence, Ahmed Sheikh, Imran Khan, Chris Donald, Simon San, Sheku Bayo, Kanatal Moti, Farzad Dag and all the island Kurdish will be commemorated for the lives they lived rather than lost. Thank you, brothers and sisters. Solidarity.